Welcome to the Annoyed Adult Podcast. My name is Howard Cam, and I'm your host of the Annoyed Adult because, well, I am the Annoyed Adult. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about whether tipping when you do takeout is a good or bad idea. And joining me today is Tina Hunt. Tina, you and I are on separate sides of this.
Before we did this, I thought this was going to be like a really boring one because I was like, automatic. You tip.
Yeah. No, I don't tip.
Who are you?
Well, first, why don't we... Okay, you know what? You know how this topic came about?
Okay.
Is because I went to this musubi restaurant, right?
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, musubi is like a rice ball with like stuff inside, meat or whatever. Anyway,
yeah.
So I went to the restaurant, and then they have these like the square card readers or the where you just tap to pay and all that.
Yeah.
And the screen's in front of you.
Yeah.
And then I'm paying, and then it says like tip amount, none, 15, 20, 25, and this person staring at me, the cashier's staring at me. I'm like, oh, you will not intimidate me.
No pressure.
You will not intimidate me. And I press no. Right? Like, because let me define first what I'm talking about with these takeout restaurants.
Okay.
Before people listening to the show cancel me.
Yeah.
So when it comes to takeout restaurants, I'm talking about the type of restaurant where you stand in line, order, you wait for it, and then you leave.
Okay.
Now, obviously, there's a difference between takeout restaurants and other restaurants where you sit down and eat, or they bring it to you, and yeah, you should tip.
Right.
But not on takeout restaurants. I wanna hear from you because I look at your face right now and you're like, you son of a bitch.
We're good friends, but this might change.
Yeah. This might be the last episode we do together. No, I want you to tell me why you tip at a takeout restaurant.
It's not something that like I'm like I feel bad for the person, but I guess at the same time like they're making minimum wage probably. They're probably not getting as much money as they should.
Okay.
They're just helping out, helping a fellow person out.
Okay, but why don't they just build the tip into it? Like, for example, in some restaurants, if there's a party of 8 or more, they just build the tip into the bill.
See, if that system worked, I would prefer that. Like in terms of like tipping in general, I think like Americans do it wrong. Like we should be just paying the guy what he needs.
For example, like most Asian tourists don't tip.
Right.
It's just a thing. It's nothing against them. It's just that's the culture that it is.
Right.
The gratuity and whatnot is either built into the price of the meal.
Yeah.
Or they get paid well, or both.
Yeah. And
I agree that because in the United States there is a tipping minimum wage, or a minimum wage for service workers that accept tips, and a minimum wage for everybody else.
Yeah.
I get that. But these restaurants with their payment systems, like, don't eyeball me, right? Don't eyeball me and be like, are you going to put in a tip? I love it when they just stare at me. I'm like,
But see, are you sure that they're staring at you? Or maybe they're just dazing off?
Well, then if they're dazing off, they're definitely not getting a tip.
You son of a bitch. You can't win. You can either judge me or not judge me.
Yeah.
You get no tip whatsoever.
They're not winning this one. Okay, so when you go there and like you get the screen turned towards you, right? And then it says, here sometimes they'll say stuff like, go ahead and follow the prompts on the screen or whatever. And,
right.
And then what do you do? Do you do 15? What do you do? 10, 15?
I do 15.
15.
I mean, so if it's a sit-down restaurant, depending on the minimum I do is 20, and then if it's really good, 25.
Yeah.
And then for the
25.
takeout, yeah, if it's really good.
Yeah, okay.
It's a struggling brother. I got to help him out.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
But for takeouts, I mean, I feel like you're just throwing a buck. You know what I mean? Just trying to do the Lord's work.
Yeah. Don't you dare bring God into this.
No Jesus talk. No Jesus talk.
We ain't doing Jesus talk here. No, but I have trouble with it because it's like...
Why?
Because when I go to McDonald's or Burger King,
okay,
there's no tip. Like, I order, and then that's it. Or, for example, I walk up, I grab the bento that's sitting on the counter, I hand it to you, you tell me it's 9 whatever, and then I'm just going to pay you and I'm going to leave. There's like no cleanup that they have to do. There's no additional service they have to render.
Well, I mean, but the service itself, right, is making sure that they're not an asshole to you.
But
I mean, like in general, like, you know, as long as they treat me nicely, they have a little bit of a conversation. I feel like this is prostitution in a sense. Now that I'm like explaining it, like they're trying to rub one out, you know, like, just a happy ending, just to have no.
Yeah, so I think they're sticking the finger under the counter at me.
Yeah.
They're smiling on top, but double middle fingers under the table. That's what they're doing.
They don't care.
They don't care about me. But I think it's like this. I would tip them if they had this genuine niceness about them. Now, hear me out, because you go to a fast food place or a takeout restaurant, and sometimes they're staffed with people who they have a job. Mm-hmm. This is not their career. This is just like, hey, it's a Saturday. I need money. You know, stuff's expensive. I got to pay. Yeah. And this is their job. I get it. But if you're just kind of going through the motions of trying to like do your job, then I'm just going to go through the motions of just being a customer that is not. I'm not giving you any additional flack. Right. I'm not trying to make additional demands. If I'm making additional demands, and by all means, you should tip. Right. For example, like, can I have 2 bags, extra forks, whatever? Okay, kick down some tip. Right. But if I'm just saying like this is all I'm buying, then that's it. I'm not going to give you an extra.
Okay, what about Uber Eats or like those kind of delivery?
Well, that's delivery though, right?
Right.
So on a delivery system, then I could see that as being okay, because if it's Uber Eats or whatever the case may be, then they're driving to you.
Yeah, they're using their own resources.
Yeah, then you got to tip. Yeah. But God, let's talk about that for a bit, because those fees are expensive.
They are. Oh my God, they are. And it's kind of like annoying too, because you know that these like companies like Uber, they're ripping those drivers off for sure.
Yeah, like
what is like on you to
compensate them.
To compensate that, yeah.
What does an $8 burger turn out to be? $16?
Absolutely. I should know. I fucking always use it.
Damn, how much is it?
I mean, so like this, the last time I had Old Spaghetti Factory, which is relatively cheap pasta. Yeah. Ended up paying like $40 to $45.
You could just go to a nice 5-star restaurant.
I know, but it's the convenience.
Yeah, because you don't have to leave.
It's the laziness that I'm paying for. It's the ability to not move an inch.
Do you ever wonder if they like sneak a bite? Like, I thought this thing had garlic bread. No? 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 I thought it did. You get like one slice of garlic bread. Like, where's the rest of it? Like, feels light.
Oh, I will say though, there was this one time. I think it was. Oh God, I forgot which app. It was one of the delivery ones, and I asked for a smoothie. Yeah. And so these delivery apps, they kind of screw the driver over, right? In that, like, some of these are not automatic tips.
Wow. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And then you really have to manually put in a tip, right? So I didn't know that. And this guy, oh my God, first of all, he missed the entrance. So he, on a public road, reversed to go back to the entrance of the parking lot.
So everyone's going one direction. He just decided to hit the reverse and go back.
Right. And then he was like, hey, can I just ask you, how come you didn't tip? And I was like, what? And I was like, I did tip. He's like, no, you didn't. And so like that, I'm not sure why, but like that really irritated me. Like, dude, I'm not like trying to rip you off or anything. So I was like, here, take the smoothie. Yeah. Just take it. Yeah. And he's like, no, I don't want the smoothie. And I'm like, no, take the smoothie, dude.
Jesus.
Yeah. So, I mean, I hate these apps, but also I really rely on it because I am a lazy ass.
Okay. All right. I understand why you should tip with like Grubhub and Uber Eats and DoorDash and all these other people too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But back to the takeout restaurant though.
I mean.
Okay, so what is a tip? A tip is a demonstration of gratitude.
Yes.
I'm grateful they didn't spit in it.
for not spitting in my food.
Thank you for not
Here's $1.
spitting. Okay, but if it's already like pre-made on a shelf,
Yeah.
all right, let's dial it up a little bit.
Okay.
Do you tip the flight attendant on a flight?
So I don't tip them with money, but every time I my thing with traveling outside of Hawaii
Yeah.
is to give the flight attendants a gift
Oh, that's kind of you.
because they're working with assholes.
Yeah, in a metal tube, 30,000 feet in the air.
Exactly. Right. It's not an easy job. So I give them a little gift, like just a little chocolate thingy.
That is kind of you to do that.
Try to be.
I have not.
I didn't think you would.
And talking about gratitude for a moment.
Yeah.
This piece of shit colleague that I used to work with.
Yeah.
Who by now, I think this is episode 4, and I have still not released that episode about him.
I was so excited.
Do you know
for
why?
When the episode is.
Let me explain why I haven't fully gotten into it.
Okay.
Because, and I'm not even kidding,
Yeah.
there is an ongoing investigation into him that has not been closed. I'm serious.
Are you serious?
Yep. I'm serious. When the show is all over and off the air, I'll explain.
Okay. But there has to be an episode.
Yeah, okay.
Because like every time we meet, somehow
Yeah.
this guy comes up.
So this piece of shit would get angry
Yeah.
that no one would come up to his classroom and tell him what a good job he was doing. I'm not kidding. Like that
Maybe
is.
if you tipped him.
You know what? He does get a tip every 2 weeks. It's called his paycheck. That's what that is. You're doing a good job.
The money is the thank you.
The money is the. The money is the thank you, right? Where's that from?
Mad Men.
Yeah, the money is the thank you. I don't need thank you cards. But I want to. Okay, let's flip it back on me for a moment.
Yeah.
If I owned a restaurant, like a little like a food truck,
Yeah.
and I was dishing out food all day, I think I might be. Oh, you know what? Now I've just caught myself because I think I might be a little sad.
Bam. There you go. The revelation hits.
You know what, Tina? I think you're right. Here's why. Because the profit margins on food service is low.
It is.
It is 5% maybe, 5 or 10%, not even that much.
Yeah.
Right? And food costs go up and down. More up than down. Labor costs more up than down. Okay. So then I see how tipping helps the worker. But if that's the case, then I'd like to make clear that tips should all be in cash.
Cash.
Or not that stupid like press here. Or you know what? If they do that on the credit card,
Yeah.
then can we not tax the employee on that? Like I'm not taxing employees, excuse me. Like because it's more effective to tip in cash rather than on a credit card.
Yeah.
Because that is not part of the service transactional fee. So a service transaction fee is every time you run a credit card, there is usually a 3% fee that the credit card company charges.
Oh, that's shitty.
Plus, I think about 85 cents or something like that. That's why people want a minimum dollar value when you use a credit card.
Oh, which goes back to the whole that bullshit convenience fee. Like
Right, the convenience fee of it all.
Yeah.
And it's not illegal to have a convenience fee.
Yeah.
It is illegal though to, actually, I think Visa or MasterCard,
Yeah.
maybe both, it is illegal to charge a convenience fee on a debit card. But it is legal to have 2 different pricing structures, which is what some companies do now. They say like, if you're paying by card, it's $12.50. If
Yeah.
you're paying by cash, it's $11.50.
Oh.
So that's legal to have 2 different pricing structures. But if you're going to tip, I say if you're the employer, don't put that percentage fee on the tip. And then whatever's left over, give to the employee.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. I never thought about that.
What about pooled tips versus individual tips?
I'm all about individual tips because you
Yeah.
know, like it goes back to what we talked about with group projects, right?
Yeah.
In the last episode,
Yeah.
like it's
One
there's
person works harder than the
one
other.
person works harder than the other,
Yeah.
and it's not fair.
Yeah, you're right. So I would agree with that too. I would say individual tips over group tips. I used to work at a Starbucks and we had pooled group tips. And so they took all the tips, they pulled it all together, and then they divided it. They had a dollar value.
Yeah.
And it was like how much per hour was the value. And then you got tipped out based on the hours that you worked, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
Because there's some people that clearly are more friendly than others.
Yeah, that actually care about their job.
Yeah.
Doing a good job. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think if you had an evening night shift versus a day shift, maybe some people can't work a night shift, and that's when people tip the most.
That's true.
For example, like a bar. If the bar opens early in the afternoon, and then like the bartender in the afternoon hours doesn't get much tips because the customers are light.
Right.
I mean, who's their customers? Alcoholics. Well, bars open 11. Got to start slamming drinks.
Let's get to it.
Yeah. Versus like casual drinkers or well, hell, even alcoholics, I guess at this point too.
Yeah.
You know, in the evening hours. There is and I want to tip some people at McDonald's because there is a lady that works on the McDonald's on South Beretania Street here in Oahu.
Yeah.
And I originally, when I went to the drive-thru, I thought I was talking to a mainland like customer service robot.
Right.
She's like, "Hello and welcome to McDonald's. How may I help you?" I'm like, it's got to be a robot.
Yeah.
And so I placed my order, and they goes, "Okay, well, thank you very much. We'll see you at the next window." And I showed it, and I drove forward to the next window, and it's like an older Caucasian lady saying, "Hi, how are you?" And you ordered. I'm like, "Whoa, you're real. You're a real person."
Please help me. I hate my life.
She's like this retiree that has this beautiful radio voice.
Yeah.
That is working the drive-thru at McDonald's. I'm like, "I love you. You're great."
But see, if you were to tip her,
Yeah.
then she would get in trouble for taking that money.
Like,
Think about it.
Can I just like slide her a $5?
Well, okay, so like Patrick, right? My
Yeah.
boyfriend Patrick, he's so kind. Like on holidays, he'll tip a 50. You know, if like we'll go to Starbucks to get a hot chocolate. There's somebody there working.
Yeah.
On Christmas.
Yeah.
So we'll try to tip him a 50. And the last time we did that, the guy was like, "No, I can't take that. They're gonna think I'm stealing." So you're kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't, dude.
Just tell him, "Hey, meet me outside."
What's
this about?
Why do you sound like you're gonna fight him?
No, don't do that.
Meet me outside.
Meet me
motherfucker.
outside.
Meet me outside.
I want to give you something. Wait, that turns into a whole other
Yeah,
thing.
that's
like, whoa, why am I going outside? Actually, you should be worried if they said, "Okay,
Yeah, I know. Like, what is wrong with you?
meet you outside and you want to give me something." I have no sense of self-worth and no street smarts. Let's go outside. Yeah, great. Hi.
Let's be friends.
Yeah, like when does that ever work? But there are some people that, okay, all right, you've changed my mind.
I have.
Yeah,
Okay.
to a point.
Okay.
To a point. Let me explain the point. If I go to this takeout restaurant and they have no energy whatsoever, I am not tipping.
Fair.
Even if you turned that machine toward me, stared me in the eyes, looked into my soul and said, and wanted a tip, I would be like, no. And I would look them right in the eye and push the 0% button.
Or the negative 5% button.
Is that cash back?
Yeah.
Negative 5. Give me cash back now. But if they say something like, you know, "How's it going? If they're genuinely kind,
Yeah.
then I'll be like, "Yeah, 15. I'll give you 15. Sure."
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
fair.
a dollar is a dollar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, it makes them, you know what? It makes them feel good.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, you know, they're not getting paid. I mean, like we said before, they're not getting paid that much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Help a brother out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think. Do you go to the restaurant, the takeout restaurants, and tip? Do you don't tip? Are you yelling at your radio right now? Are you screaming at the podcast going, "You son of a bitch. I work and it's people like you that don't tip me." Or there's probably like some other annoyed adult out there that goes, "No, sir, I won't tip at all." And I say to that person, "Hello there, boomer." Later on, we'll talk about Gen X and what that means.
Oh.
Yeah, because we are different generations.
Yes.
What generation? You're a millennial.
I'm millennial.
Oh, that's a whole other show altogether.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. I want to thank Tina for being on my show today.
Thank you, dude.
She is awesome, and I hope to hear more. Tina, I'll see you later.
I'll see you around, dude.
Bye.